What's going on, guys? Today we're checking out The World Ends With You HD Final Remix. I picked it up today to check it out. I told you guys I'd probably talk about it a bit. And I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to approach this because I am a little biased when it comes to this game because I liked it back when it came out on the DS back in 2007. This was actually, I remember when I picked this up, it wasn't when it first came out. I remember picking it up I think around the time, I think this was one of the first games I played on my newly acquired DSi, which that actually might have been a really bad trade, and I think about it, trading in the DS Lite for DSi, because you lose that Game Boy Advance compatibility. So yeah, not a good idea. But this was one of the first games I played on that system, and I really liked this game. I thought it did some cool things in the RPG genre. I liked the addition of using like 2 screens. I thought that was a really cool idea. And then it went to mobile phones, and they took that 2-screen idea that I didn't think was possible to change the game up that much and make it work on a single screen. They did that, and now they're moving it, at least as of today, you can pick it up. They moved it to the Nintendo Switch, and this is not a good port by Square Enix. This is not a good port at all. I don't know why they opted to go this way, considering the game is $50. So it's not a cheap game. Like, if I saw this pop up, and it was like 20 bucks digital only, like digital only release on the Switch, I think I'd be more lenient with the game, because in handheld mode, I noticed this game seems to function pretty much the same as the mobile phone version. In fact, a lot of people at this point are just playing it in handheld mode where it's all touchscreen because it works. But at that point, it's functioning the same as the $18 mobile version. Now, there is some extra content, about 3 hours or so, that seems to tack onto the story a bit and somewhat lean into a sequel. And we've heard in some interviews that this kind of needs to sell okay for there to be a possibility of the series continuing. So here we are now with a game that is not ported well to docked mode, which, of course, if you're buying it on the Switch, more than likely you would like it to work well in docked mode. The controls are this game's biggest problem. So let me talk to you a bit about this game. I'm not going to spoil anything. This is very early on, as he is day 2. You don't have to worry about story spoilers or anything. We're mostly going to be running around doing some combat, so I can show you what I'm talking about there. There's also a co-op mode, which is kind of a neat idea, but it still has similar issues in docked mode. So when you get this game and you turn it on, you cannot use a Pro controller. That is not compatible. You cannot use 2 Joy-Con controllers in like the grip. Not compatible. You are using 1 Joy-Con controller, and it uses the gyro, as you're seeing here, where you can reset it to the center. So if you're like all the way over here, that's now the center of your screen, and I'm kind of functioning like that. So you point at your screen, you hit the button, and there it is in the middle. And this is pretty much how you control your character in battle. Now, let me back out here. When you're running around in like the main hub world and in the town and everything, you can use the joystick to move your character around. Great. That's awesome. I was trying to figure out if they would be able to incorporate controls. Obviously they can, and they have. That's good news. But when you get into battle is where everything falls apart. In docked mode, it's okay in handheld mode because it pretty much uses the same ideas that you have on again on the cell phone, which is cool. So here we are. You get pins. These pins are how you actually do damage or heal yourself, and they kind of function in touch format. But when you're in docked mode, you have 2 different buttons on the Joy-Con. One simulates a tap, like if you tap the screen. The other one is pretty much a press and hold. So it's like you're just dragging your finger along the screen. And that is how these pins function. So for example, here is the pyrokinesis, and you drag an empty space and basically light the entire space on fire. This is how I can heal myself. You basically tap the pin in battle, and that's how it works. So let's actually jump in now to a battle, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. We'll fight one of the guys here that represent noise, as they call it. And we'll go ahead and fight in this battle. So in battle, you also have a partner. You used to have 2 screens, like I was saying. We have 1 screen here. Immediately, the joystick does not work. You cannot move your character around with the joystick. You basically have to move your character around by just tapping on different areas like this. So you see the one enemy running around down there. I really don't understand why they did not incorporate a function where the control stick works here. There should be a way to have pretty much all button controls, because everything they're doing here is not like crazy. If they can turn this into a single screen game instead of a dual screen game, they should have no issue doing that. So that was my first issue here, is that they are not doing that. It's weird to me to see that, but that's just, I guess, that's what they decided to do with this port. That's, I think, my biggest issue is this feels like a very lazy port, I think, is the problem. And it's already tough enough to control your character and pull off the moves. Like I know how to pull off this fire move. You have to basically hold and drag like that. But getting it just right and being able to move your character at the same time is kind of an issue. You can move the Joy-Con slightly to give you that dash to get out of the way. And you can already see that the enemy that I'm trying to fight here is already running all over the place. So it's kind of a mess already, right? They have other moves where I can like probably throw this car against them in the traffic cones and stuff. I don't have that one equipped. So this is kind of what you're dealing with here. Now in handheld mode, you can actually just start dragging fire across the screen pretty easily. You can dodge a bit easier. And it's pretty clear that they basically took the phone version and tried their best to map it to the Joy-Con's gyro controls, and it doesn't work. Like if I was able to move my character here with just the control stick and not have to worry about where this is pointing in accordance to the enemy, this would be a lot easier, I think, to pull off. Damn it. And it's already hard enough to hit this guy, and it's even harder, obviously, when I'm trying to move my character around at the same time. So, and I'm trying to touch that to heal myself, and it's a problem. Something I really like about this game, and I really like about the original, of course, it translates pretty well to the big screen. The artwork, the style of the game looks awesome. It's something I've always liked about this game, and that's, I think, the real frustration about this port. The game itself, the core game, I really like. It's awesome. I love playing on the DS. I didn't play it on the mobile phones. I definitely skipped the mobile phone version of it, and here I am now with the Switch version, and it looks good. It translates very well to the big screen. Everything looks awesome here. The music is killer in this game. It's great music. It really kind of fits the tone of the style they're going with here. But man, the battle system, it really struggles in dock mode with these controls. The controls hamper the experience in docked mode. So if you're going to buy this game, realize you're probably buying it to play it in handheld mode, and it's definitely overpriced. $50 is it's out of the question. It's too much for what they're offering here, because this doesn't feel like a port where they had to go back to the drawing board and break the game down and, you know, like really build it up with proper controls. Like the mobile version, I think, got more development done to it, where they went from the dual screen to the single screen than this. It feels like they just took the mobile version, made it work on the Switch, tacked on gyro controls without too much concern or even QA, and pushed it out the door for $50 as what to me feels like a cash grab. So you also have a partner when you're playing, and let me run up here. I have a partner here as well with me, and you can do combos kind of with them while you're playing. So let me see if I can get her to. You have to tap an enemy, right, like that, and then you can. Oh, there we go. And then when she's doing that, you can actually combo with her in an attempt to, there we go. You can see it feels very inaccurate when you're trying to do this. So I'm trying to make this work, whereas in handheld mode, you tap and you're doing all this stuff, because you can touch these enemies. They're already moving like fast enough, and you can technically pause combat to kind of get your bearings, but it's like, there we go. Okay, we got him, hit him again. So you got like the sync meter at the top where you can do some cool like finishers and stuff as you go. I was lighting him on fire. So I'm still trying to, there we go, I got the drink. Trying to get this to work together. But yeah, you can kind of see where like the cursor's going for me to try to dodge and move and attack at the same time. There's a lot going on. I think this would have been better if it was a control stick just to move the character, and maybe a lock on with maybe a button combination for the different skills that you have. Because you only have really two up there right now, and that would just be so much easier if maybe you hold like L or ZL or something to just to make that work, because you do have ZL comboed up as well for your psychic abilities and stuff like that. I feel like that would have been so much better to have it that way. But man, it just feels like they weren't really interested in putting a lot of time into a port that they should have really put some time in this port. This game is great, and I feel like they should have really spent the time. It's almost like they're afraid to spend any time on this port, which is weird because Switch owners show that they're interested in JRPGs. Like, what we just see with Octopath Traveler. Absolutely nailed it. I mean, Xenoblade, best-selling Xenoblade, Chronicles 2, best-selling in the franchise. Like, Switch owners want good RPGs. They want good JRPGs, right? So this is a good JRPG, right? Why not spend a little bit more time on it? It's not like it's a $20 game. It's a $50 game. Spend some time on it. Put it out there. If you're going to put it out like this, $20. Like, that's what it should be. And people might say that's too low. I don't think so. I think that's fair. $20 for what they're giving us here with not a good port job. For a game that deserves a good port job, it's unfortunate what I'm seeing here. So I'm not going to tell people not to buy it because I want the next game to happen. And I know the core game is good, but with things like the mobile version out there for $18, you could still get the DS version and play through the game. There are probably better ways to play it, to be honest. You can even beam your phone to your TV and play it on the TV if you want. But it's up to you. You know what? Maybe what you're seeing here isn't that big of a deal to you. Maybe you're fine with gyro controls like these and getting everything to work. It just feels like it's all over the place. It feels chaotic, not in a good way, not like chaotic fun. It feels chaotic bad when you're running around and trying to make stuff work in combat. But let me know what you guys think down below about this situation, because the game's good, controls not great. Handheld mode's fine, but at that point, you're like playing the mobile version with 3 extra hours of content. So $50, that's up to you if it's worth it. But of course, they've already told us if you want the next World Ends With You, you support us in this game. So, I did. I bought it for $50, and yeah, there's some disappointment there, obviously, just because I like this game so much, and Square did not put the effort into this port. But let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys give the video a like if you liked it. Maybe it helped you out. Dislike it if not, and I'll see you guys in the next video.